Hi, wrestling fans. This is Mad Matt Carter, along with AIWF Hall of Famer Brian Danzig, telling you and reminding you about the most awesome, at least we think so, wrestling podcast there is. It's AIWF Ringside Wrestling, and it comes your way on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, just to name a few. Brian, they can also see it on YouTube, but the cool thing about our podcast, it's completely live and interactive every Sunday night on Facebook.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we get into all the news of AIWF, WWE, TNA, all of it. We don't just cover AIWF. We cover the whole spectrum of wrestling. You can comment. You can put comments in there. We'll answer your questions. It's a great time, and sometimes. Most of the time we're talking about wrestling. Sometimes it goes off the rails, and that's just that. Sometimes that's even more entertaining.
Yeah, that's part of the charm, I guess, of the show, right? So be sure to tune in anywhere you find your favorite podcast on the AIWF Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, and of course on Facebook live on Sunday night for the most interactive wrestling podcast in the United States. It's AIWF Ringside Wrestling. Let's see here if I can find WrestleTix on Twitter real quick. Why does it always bring that up? X. Let's see. Give me a second. Oh yeah, they come up quick. All right,
That's
here.
what she said.
I'm almost 50 years old. Damn it, I can't help it. Let's see here. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's just go scroll through some of this stuff right here. All right, so AEW Dynamite Rampage, Wednesday, February 21st, 6:30 p.m., the BOK Center in Tulsa, old Mid-South town. Yeehaw! Bill Watts, so what I call him and say, hey.
Don't come off the top rope. That's what he said when I called him.
Yeah. He'll stick to that. Well, Bill said that still today that was done to generate heat. And so
they ruined WCW for many a year, so I think he's a goddamn liar about that.
Well, the money he made.
Tell us how you really feel, Reagan.
Yeah, the money, the money he made with Mid-South would probably, I would beg to differ. But anyway, let's see.
I'm not talking about Mid-South. I'm talking about his WCW days.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, he's the one who made the rule in WCW that you couldn't come off top rope.
Yeah,
that's proved Matt Carter's
point. Ruined
WCW
for those years.
you proved Matt Carter's point. It was meant to generate heat. It's still generating heat to this day.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't think it's because it was planned to be heat. It was terrible those years.
But Bill Watts did a lot of things to get himself out of there too. But anyway, let's see here. Current setup 2,978, 435 available tickets. Tickets distributed 2,543, up 117 since the last update 2 days ago. You can see the map right there. I don't see any resales on there, but those are the available seats.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why is it? I don't know anything about this venue, so I'm assuming it's a coliseum.
Yeah, it is.
And not an armory.
Yeah. I'd say it's the same bet.
Yeah, I'm gonna say with the size, it's not an armory.
Field house.
So, why is there only? Scroll back up, Matt, just for a second, please.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there only 3,000 seats?
There's not 3,000 seats. This place looks like it'll seat about 15, 20,000.
That's my question. Why did they only set it up for 3,000 seats?
Because they knew
don't get me wrong. I know that that's all they could sell, but why are they still going into these 10,000 seat arenas and expecting 3,000 people to show up? Why not downscale?
Ego.
The ego, and they've been booked months in advance, but they supposedly just hired a new guy to handle these live events for them. And if it was me, man, I'd start heading to the high school and college gyms. At least if you got 2,500 in there, they'd be into it and they'd be loud.
Or you could have them like, how like in Winston where they had the Crockett Cup, like you have that smaller
annex
area. Yeah, the annex.
Annex.
Like, that would be
3,000 or 4,000 people.
And that would be. I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean,
Bill Watts run it.
But like
WCW, that's why I went and seen it.
I mean, that's a valid point. Like, why? It's like you accept what you are and excel at what you are.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, but
Stop
Stephen Hayes
giving
is right.
people ammunition to shoot shit at you.
Yeah.
I saw, speaking of shooting shit at him, Matt, did you see the thing about the, I don't know what it was celebrating, but it said, thank you, Tony Khan on the screens, and all the wrestlers came out and stood on the stage.
Yes.
And everybody's talking about like when I don't know what milestone it was. Was it the number of shows?
I
Was it
think
like,
so. I think so.
and then people were just making the comment, like when you see that, like if it's a WWE milestone, they'll be like, thank you, the WWE fans.
Mhm.
But Tony Khan said, thank you, Tony Khan. And
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Ain't
it's
nobody
like,
going to put you over like you.
it's
Yeah.
like Chris Nelson all over again, but with a lot of money and bigger budget. I mean, it's like the bodyguard, Jim Bolin up there. I don't know. So it's just frustrating to me because I think whether or not he has storylines or not, I enjoy most of that product when I can remember to watch it. And I'm gonna say I don't watch as much as I should. I watch a lot of clips on. I do watch a lot of clips online.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy their product. And like I said, they should just accept what they can do, use what they can do, and be who they are. They are not going to be WWE. It's just not going to happen. I don't even know that they're going to be WCW, but maybe they're WCW in 90 and 91. You know what I'm saying? Like the smaller, arenas and stuff. And like I saw WCW in I guess it was Ovens Auditorium. What is it called now?
Bojangles Coliseum, and next door is Ovens Auditorium.
Yeah, so a smaller place, and just work that, build that up, and once you build that up and be like, oh, we're running out of tickets, then go to the next level. But they had to jump right into the deep end before they could swim.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were drawing bigger crowds at first. I mean, this has really happened. The crowds have really started to drop off in the last year and a half. Here's the most impressive one that I've seen this week. And I follow this WrestleTix. I sent them pictures for the Charlotte show. I think this is fascinating when you're just studying the business of wrestling. This is a house show that's set to take place at 7 p.m. tonight out in Fresno, California, which is in about 2.5 hours. Available tickets, 1,371. Current setup, 10,592. Tickets distributed, 9,221. I bet you that's going to be, when he posts the final numbers tomorrow, it's going to be close if they can hit 10,000, but for a house show, but look who's on it.
I think they'll break it because, that's available. That's tickets available. Now, that's not including walk up, right?
Yeah, no, that's just distributed.
They may have 2,000 or 3,000 walk up.
Well, and all those seats that aren't sold are nosebleed, right?
Yeah, they're up at the upper level.
Yeah, that's the $10 seats.
Yeah. But I mean, there's still some singles down here at Ringside and one right here and a couple over here. So
I don't know what building, is that a pretty, just from the way the picture looks, it doesn't look like a gigantic.
No,
like you would probably have.
You ever been in the Roanoke Civic Center?
Yeah, I was about to say it looks about Roanoke.
I have. I saw a WCW house show there.
Yep. So, and then let's see. Okay, now this one's a little bit harder because of the color coding. AEW Collision, Saturday, February 24th, 2024, Great Southern Bank Arena, Springfield, Missouri. This has a color coding layout like the Fayetteville Coliseum. It's like, I guess it's their ticket distributor. 813 available tickets. Current setup 2,601. Tickets distributed 1,788. And so,
do these ever say how many seats are actually in the venue? Like, I'm just curious. Like, is there? Okay, so there. It says that there are going to be around 4,000. Like it's like 4,000-ish tickets. Like, I would just be curious. And I know that some of it's going to be taken up with stage and camera, but I would like to know the total number of seats just to kind of get in my head, like the size of the place. Does that make sense? Because you would have to know the other buildings around to be able to tell the size of the place.
Well, you can.
Yeah, like did they actually sell out every seat in the building, or did they just sell out the tickets they made available?
They just sold out the tickets that they made available. Like the Greensboro Coliseum, when set up for basketball, will seat like 22,000 people, according to their website. But they're never going to seat that many for wrestling.
Yeah.
Right.
But but it gives me an idea in my head, like the size, like the whole size of the venue. So then you can think, oh, so this is a smaller venue. So no seat is going to be a crappy seat.
It's really, the reason they don't do that on here is because it's pointless. Because, all right, so say that we're WWE, right? And we come to the Roanoke Civic Center and we configure, like, okay, let's configure it for 3,000. And we sell 2,900 tickets, and then you include the employees and all that kind of stuff. That's a sellout, right? If you don't sell any more, because that's what you wanted the building configured for. So that's why you can say it's a sellout. Even if the place will seat 20,000 people, if you only had it configured for 3, you can tell people it was a sellout, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I guess just in my, oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, you see stuff on the indies all the time where somebody's talking about, it's a sellout, and then they show a picture of a garage that seats 75 people.
Yeah.
Hey, Reagan, to answer your question, when set up for basketball and everything, it seats over 11,000.
Okay, thank you. It's just in my brain, my brain works a little differently because I had a lot of hits to the head.
Were you talking about that building right there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what size is it comparable to.
I got you.
Wrestle
Roanoke.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just curious the size of the building because what I'm thinking is like, for people who are buying tickets, just like there's not a bad seat in the house kind of a idea that I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so take a look at this now. This is I find interesting too. This is last night in Oakland, California. So dodging bullets to get in and out of the building. So final count, road to WrestleMania, Saturday, February 17th, 17th, Oakland Arena, Oakland, California. Look at that. Looks just a happy bunch. Last visit, September 18th, 2022, Sunday Stunner, 3,106. Last night, 7,578, a 144% increase. Something's happening in wrestling, y'all. And
that shows it can be done.
Yes.
Because in 2022, they were drawing AEW numbers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So AEW just got to figure out what they've got to do to get people in the door. And I feel like what they're going to have to, and we both know it ain't going to happen. We all know it ain't going to happen, but they got to get Tony Khan out of the booking committee.
Yes.
He's not Vince McMahon. He don't know enough about wrestling. He's trying to do it as a fan. He don't know what he thinks he knows what the fans want, but he don't. He's got to get some people in there that knows how to tell these stories, and he's got to let them work.
The best thing that AEW does, and the only building that I really appreciate watching them in is Daly's Place, because it is a small enough venue and a home base for them that it's almost like the ECW arena. It at least always is going to be full for them.
Yeah.
Or they could run a small building out in Reseda, California, and change the name of the promotion to PWG, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, let's give AEW their flowers. I hate that expression. But I just said it. For Sting's last match, this is the latest update. I didn't see when he updated. Let's see when he put the post up, if there's a timestamp. 21 hours ago, so yesterday. AEW Revolution, Sunday, March 3rd. Oh, man, that's the day of our anniversary show. So sorry, Tony, we hurt the crowd. 220 available tickets. Current setup 16,130. Total tickets distributed, and this is amazing. This is like Cornette said, this is going to be the biggest AEW attended show domestically this year, and I believe it. 15,910. Up 219 since the last update 2 days ago. Days until show 15. Take a look at these notes. Map changes. Front rows in sections 209 through 212 are added. The new floor seats on the map also include resale. So those are figured into the estimate now. Section 237, noted below in light pink, and we'll zoom in on the map so you can see it in just a second, looks to have been removed for the time being, with only the front two front rows sold. If those end up with a ton of resale in them, I'll add them back in. Last visit for Collision, 8/12/2023. CM Punk was on that card, 5,420. Max capacity of map, not venue, 20,281. Lot of this is in the balcony, but it's the front row. So yeah. And all these red is resale. Thoughts? Everybody quiet?
Yeah. Well, I'm just listening to you tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I just think it's impressive. I mean, this is proof to what you said, Stephen Hayes, if you ask me, that Sting is selling these tickets, not AEW, because everything else is 2,000, 3,000, except for Wembley. Wembley's selling good, but and I don't even know if I can find Wembley on here, but all the wrestling fans, if you're watching all this, you see red, these are resales. So they're going to be higher because people are trying to, they bought the tickets and are trying to scalp them. For basketball, these seats on the front row in the balcony aren't bad. I don't know how they'd be for wrestling, but you certainly don't want to be up here.
No.
And Jinky told me not to tell too much about how my ticket retard. Just look at the stuff trending over here. Dale Jr., Arn Anderson, MAGA morons, William Henry Harrison. What the fuck, Twitter? Which one of these? It's just 4 random things, but
tells me all I need to know about your search history on Twitter, Matt.